Hi! Today I'm gonna make something. Can you tell I haven't found my YouTube niche yet? So those of you who know me know that sometimes I make plushies. This is one of them. He is a dream warrior, and today we're gonna make him a little companion. This is my dream warrior plushie. I made him quite a while ago, but he's probably my favorite plush that I've ever made. He's got loads of cool details. He wears a monocle on one of his eyes so that he can see the monsters in dreams, the invisible ones. He carries a sword so he can beat up all the monsters, all the nightmare monsters. He has this cool leather belt which has some potions and some medicines on it in those little pots. He has a really cool belt buckle. He wears a little scarf, and on the back here he's got a cool shield to protect himself. He's got this cool sash as well. So I'm really excited to make him a little companion to help him fight nightmares so that you only have good dreams, because good dreams are good. Yep. So to find some materials, I'm going to go through here into my grotty storeroom. Oh look, so much choice, and even more choice. Good. And if I just look, yep, okay, yep, I have a problem. The next thing I need to do is choose some buttons. Oh look, yep, loads of choice there. Good, and a few more for good measure. Yep, always good, plenty of choice. And okay, no, seriously, I have a problem. Send help. Another thing you're going to need is some old or broken jewelry that you don't wear anymore. I've got a little bit here. And what's this, Sarah? Your hoarding doesn't extend to your jewelry collection? Oh no, wait, yep, of course it does. So for the body of my new plushie, I've chosen this floral material in blues and whites with a little bit of dark pinky colour in there. And for the head, I've chosen this cool silky plain blue material, and it's kind of got a nice sheen to it, which I'm not quite sure you can see there, but it's very pretty. You're also going to need a pen and some paper. You're going to need a needle and thread, and pick a colour of thread that kind of fits with your design. You are going to need some buttons. Here are the ones I've chosen. You will need a pair of fabric scissors, and I have just spent ages looking everywhere for my fabric scissors and I cannot find them, so I'm going to have to battle through with some paper scissors, but do use fabric scissors if you have them, because this is probably going to be miserable for me. These are a few bits and pieces that I picked out of my jewelry collection. I'm not sure how I'm going to use them yet or whether I'll use them all, but those are the ones I like the look of for this project. You're also going to need some stuffing. So pretty much everything I use to make my plushies is secondhand or recycled apart from this stuffing, although I did get this bag from a charity shop, so I don't know if that counts, but it's secondhand at least. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is drawing out a paper template. I'm going to be drawing the head and the body. And you don't technically have to draw out a paper template, you can draw straight onto the fabric if you want to, but I really like doing this because I can then keep the paper templates for future plushies, and I have a collection of several. If I had the body template from my original Dream Warrior, then I would be using it, but I don't have that one anymore, so I'm gonna have to make a new one. I'm measuring out the size. I'm gonna make this plushie a little bit bigger than the original one, so here I am just sketching out the two designs. I'm making this second plushie a cat instead of a bear. So once you've sketched out the designs, just check that you're happy with them and that the proportion of the head and the body is something you're happy with. I obviously normally make the head a bit proportionally big compared to the body to give it that cute chibi effect. Once you've done the sketch, you just want to go around and make it kind of a bolder line just to make it easier for you to cut them out. And then you can go ahead and cut them out. So once you've cut them out, just once again check that you're happy with the final design, and then grab the material you've chosen for the head of your plushie, turn it so that the wrong side is facing you, so the bad side, and we're going to draw around our paper template onto the fabric. You can pin it there to make it secure if that's easier for you. So once you've done that, you want to go right side to right side, sandwich together so that you can stitch around them, and we're going to use a back stitch. And we're going to use some pins just to pin that in place, pin the two layers together, and then we're going to stitch all the way around the head, and you need to leave a little gap at the neck I would recommend leaving a gap of about 2 centimeters. The gap I left wasn't big enough because I always try and be cheeky and get away with as small a gap as possible, and it never pays off, it just makes my life really hard. So yeah, at least 2 centimeters, do it. So this is the most time consuming and the most tedious part of plushie making. You could do this with a machine if you wanted. If you're a competent sewing machine user, probably be a lot quicker for you. There are a couple of reasons why I choose to do this by hand. The first one is that a lot of the curves, especially on the body between the little limbs, are quite fiddly, and it's just easier for me to get them done accurately if I do it by hand. The second one is I just like knowing that they're completely handmade. So once you've stitched all the way around your plushie head, you can cut it out and just leave about 1/2 centimeter gap from your stitching to make sure that you don't get too close. Then you can turn it the right way around, and here's me having immense difficulty doing that due to the fact that I didn't leave myself a big enough gap. So make sure you don't make that mistake like me. So now you have a beautiful head for your plushie, and you can move on and do the same steps, exactly the same steps for the body. So draw it round, stitch all the way round. As I said, this stage takes a while, so grab yourself a cup of tea, put on some music or a TV program or a YouTube video or whatever you want to do to make sure you don't completely lose your mind. Cut it out. You might need to go a little bit closer than 1/2 centimeter in those fiddly bits, maybe within a couple of millimeters of your stitches, so just be really careful with that part, and then you can go ahead and turn the whole thing back the right way around. And now you have a little empty plushie. Next we're going to stuff both parts of the plushie, so get out your stuffing, and I find it easiest to break it into little bits for this process. Again, I've made it pretty tough for myself by having too small a gap for the head part, but I do the best I can. So here I am just putting little bits of stuffing, starting at the bottom of the feet or the top of the ears, and using a pencil just to stick the stuffing right in there, and make sure you get enough stuffing in there so that it's not kind of saggy or anything. It takes more stuffing than you realize to stuff these little guys, so just keep going until you've got a nice plump plushie. Next we're going to take a needle and thread again and attach these two parts together. I don't really have a solid method for doing this. I'm sure that people with more advanced sewing skills than mine know of a really clever stitch you can use to make this look flawless and beautiful, but I don't know, I just kind of am putting it down to a free-for-all, and I just kind of try and make it work and just attach these two things as best I can. So this is me doing that. I never worry about being incredibly neat about this part because all of my plushies wear beautiful ribbons or scarves around their necks anyway, which kind of covers up any messy stitching. When you're done, you have a beautiful but bare plushie with head and body ready to decorate. This is the fun part. For the eyes, I've chosen one beautiful silver eye, which is really reflective and lovely. And for the other eye, I'm gonna make a monocle for this plushie, just like the original Dream Warrior. So I've got this single blue eye, and then I'm gonna make a crystal monocle to allow her to see all dimensions at once. So I'm gonna layer up these buttons for that effect. I'm then just gonna go ahead and double up on some thread to attach these buttons. I normally place the eyes quite wide set on the head. So for the first one, it's pretty simply just attaching a button as normal. And then for the second eye, I am going to tie these 3 buttons together to begin with, just to make it easier for me so that all the little holes stay aligned, to make it easier for me to attach the button to the head. So if you're making a plushie, this is the part where our plushies are going to start looking pretty different, because this is the part where we get creative, and it just depends what you have lying around, what charms and jewelry and little things you want to use. So just be creative, and anything can mean anything and be anything for this project. That made sense in my head. So I'm just going to show you what I've done. First of all, I have fixed a few charms together to make this kind of little pack, which is going to go on her belt or on her little strap around her body, and it's got some little charms there, and those are going to be kind of like the access points to her little spells to unleash her powers against the nightmare monsters that she's fighting. I thought, since my other dream warrior was more of a sword and shield type guy, that the companion could be more into her magic and use her special powers to fight against the nightmare monsters. So I've attached the belt around her body. I have secured it in a couple of places with some thread, and I have then attached this pack onto the belt just with a few stitches. I normally do all these steps by sewing, just with the same white thread and a needle. And here is the completed plushie. So I've added quite a few details. I've put a little chain around her monocle just to make it a little bit clearer about what that is. I have finished off her belt. On the back here I have attached a beautiful silver sash and a couple of these circular pieces of jewellery. I imagine them to be a bit like weapons, like throwing stars that she can throw at the monsters. On her little paw here I've just added another little charm that she can use to access some special power of hers. That's the completed plushie. So here are my dream warriors together. I'm really pleased with the way that they turned out. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see more tutorials like this, or if you want to see some more of my plushie collection, then give this video a like so that I know to make that thing. Thanks so much for watching, and take care guys. Bye.